I have heard that people are only loyal to you as long as they need you, or as long as you're in a position of money, authority, or power. If you're a nobody, or you become a nobody again, you basically cease to exist. I have seen people blame movies, video games, and TV shows for the violence around us. I have seen good people pay the price for sins they did not commit. I have seen people take actions meant for someone else on innocent people. But we never blame the society we live in. A society where it has become cool to make fun of people's deaths. A society where you have to become part of the status quo, or else you'll be rejected and labeled and treated as an outsider. And you will be looked down at for being different. And you will be pushed into a corner until you have reached your limits. And when it's time to make a decision, sometimes people will decide wrong. If you're not with me, you're against me. That has been a quote I have heard so many people judge from the Bible, stating that it is unfair, something that goes against free will, and that no one should ever feel like they have to be forced into doing something they do not want just to fit into an idealistic way of life. Yet still, everywhere you go today, there is an unspoken law of what normal is. And if you don't fit in that idealistic way of life, you will be cast to the side, ignored and abandoned. If you're not with society, you are against it. People will not care if you're a nobody and you're struggling, if you're bullied, if you're depressed, or even if you're suicidal. How many people cry at funerals saying they wish they could have done something to help? Why does tragedy have to strike in order for something to be noticed? Bullying is still a problem, yet no one moves a finger to help those kids that are being bullied. But when one of those kids grabs a gun and comes back to school, all you hear afterward is, "He used to be so quiet, so shy, and he is labeled a monster." But no one notices what happened in between quiet and shy and being a monster. No one sees what created that monster. They just know that the monster exists and that it has been taken care of. Yet still, bullying is still happening, suicide is still happening, school violence and school shootings still happen, and no one will move a finger to change things, assuming someone else will come along and do all the work. I know there are people out there who are psychotic and they get a thrill out of causing pain to others. But other people, the rest of those that snapped, they come from a different background. They come from a background filled with poverty, violent or sexual abuse, mistreatment, neglect, and abandonment. That lack of stability, that lack of compassion, that urge to break free will be bottled up, and it will keep building up as forms of depression, anger, and desperation. And it will not stop until that person feels free. This does not only represent school violence and teen suicide. This fits into adults who feel they lost everything, or have lost everything. Adults who feel like they have never accomplished anything. And adults who feel like they have worked so hard and yet have nothing to show for it because they feel someone else didn't work as hard and yet they have everything they wanted. And no one cares about them because they were different. They weren't part of society, or they were part of society, and by living off someone else's expectations, they realized how empty they really were all along. The Joker movie showed us this, and it is true. We abandon those in need, but we lift up those that are already higher than all of us. We care about those with power, but we ignore the powerless. We focus on pointless accomplishment made by famous people, but we ignore big accomplishment done by regular people. And it is never too late to change, to become a change in society, to become a helping hand to those in need. We can work towards a better future together. And all you need to do is notice the people around you. You never know what they're struggling with. Maybe you cannot change the world, but you could change their world.